Hey, everybody, it's Cindy Whitmer, the Midlife Makeover Coach, and this is the Life Makeovers podcast. Thank you for being here. I usually interview someone for the podcast, but this week I thought I'd do something a little different. I told you guys at the beginning of the podcast that I would be mixing things up once in a while. So I thought, I'm going to share some information that I taught in my group coaching program recently called 8 Powerful Questions to Make Your Year Fantastic. I mean, we're just getting into the new year, and I always think it's great to be intentional and set ourselves up for success and happiness in the year. And I thought, what are some really powerful questions we could ask ourselves all year long to make sure we are making our year wonderful? So I thought, hey, my group coaching clients loved this. I'm going to share it with my podcast listeners. And some of you are in both of those camps, so thank you so much. But here we go. Let's talk about it. So ask yourself, what do I value the most? What do I value the most? So in other words, what's really important to you? How do you, what makes your life ideal? Another thing to really check is how you spend your time, your effort, your money. Like, does that really line up with what you value the most? I did that. It's at the end of every year. I look at all my expenses of the year because I track them all year long. I'm very self-aware around my finances. And well, I hope around everything, but I noticed that where I spent the most money in 2022 was through training and education, coaching, for myself and for my growth of my business. And then personally, where I really spent money the most was spending time with people, traveling, and spending time, with people that are important to me as well. And so I tend to spend my time and money in my relationships and with my own personal growth and my business development and traveling and that. So those are some of the things I value the most. And so ask yourself, what do you value the most, and make sure that's where you're putting your time and attention. Okay. Number 2, what brings you joy? Now, I mean, having a good time every day, like joy, have fun, be happy, but also on a more, a deeper level, like, what are you really drawn to? Like, what things do you feel a magnet to? Because these are things that are going to, create more than just, a great day, but rather like that unabashed joy, that meaning, that significance in your life. So what do you really, really love and delight in? What are you really passionate about? And these are the things that I want to make sure that you're also spending time in and letting yourself do, really allowing yourself. I mean, I get such joy in having rich conversations with other people. I just spent some time over this last weekend with a girlfriend of mine, and we just had the most wonderful conversation about, really what's on our hearts and in our minds. And my work brings me great joy. Being in nature brings me great joy. My spiritual journey, excuse me, brings me great joy. So what brings you joy? And be in joy activities, joy states of being every day. Number 3, how do you treat those you love the most? Now, I really want you to think about this. How do you treat those that you love the most? So I'm guessing that you bring kindness to those relationships. You bring grace, respect, nurturing, care, forgiveness, all kinds of things. You probably prioritize people that you love the most. So think about how you treat those people that you love the most. And then what I want you to do to make your year fantastic is, of course, continue to treat people wonderfully, as long as it's in a healthy balance for you, and treat yourself that way. Treat yourself that way. So when you're giving grace to others, are you giving grace to yourself? When you're, showing compassion to others, are you showing compassion to yourself? When you're forgiving others, are you forgiving yourself? So in other words, treat yourself as you do those that you love the most, as long as that feels like a healthy way that you're treating other people, which I'm sure it is for almost all of you, almost all the time. Okay, number 4. What are your absolute yeses and your enlightened no's? So let me teach a little bit about this in case you've never heard me explain these before. So those times that you are asked to do something, join the board, teach the class, care for someone, do that extra project for work, whatever it is, or the family wants you to do something, you're invited somewhere and you have the opportunity to go or not go. So if you, when something comes up, a decision to make, an opportunity, a choice, and you feel inside, oh yes, I am in, I want to be a part of that. Yes. Excuse me again, I apologize. If you feel it strongly, immediately, that is an absolute yes. Okay. When you get excited about something, you're really feeling it. The opposite reaction is, you feel dread. You feel like, oh no, I wish they wouldn't have asked, or, oh, how can I get out of this? Or, oh, that's come around again. Or I feel like I don't have time this time, or, oh, I want to get out of the habit of doing this, or I really don't want to do this, but I don't want to upset anyone. See, you hear the different dialogue there? That, my friends, is an enlightened no. That's when you want to say no. When you know inside, you don't feel it, you really don't want to do it, or it doesn't fit in the context of your life right now, or you no longer resonate with that, whatever the reason is, those feelings of, ugh, that means it's an enlightened no. And here's why it's really important to say no. When you know it's a no. Number 1 is it's healthier for you and will help you keep your balance, right? To only say yeses to your absolute yeses. This is how you can have a more balanced, healthy life. Number 2, it's more honest. When you're honest, you answer those opportunities honestly, then there's more integrity in yourself, your relationship with yourself, more authentic, and in your relationship with other people, whether it's personally or professionally focused. It's an honest way to live. So you'll feel better, you'll feel more aligned in integrity. And then number 3, your enlightened no's. Guess what? Those things you want to say no to are somebody else's absolute yeses. So you don't want to be filling their spot when you don't want it the spot anyway, because the absolute yes person is still needing to be found. Okay, so you want to keep that spot open for that. So really look at your absolute yeses and your enlightened no's and trust yourself and honor them throughout the year. I am so sorry, you guys. Lots of clearing of the throat this morning. So sorry. Okay, number 5. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Okay, if you've hung around me at all for very long, we talk about mindset a lot. I talk about mastering your mindset a lot. In other words, using your mind to be your best friend, when a lot of us are using our minds in a way that it's like it's our enemy. So really get aware this year, if you aren't already, of what you are thinking. What is the nature of your thoughts? Are they very positively focused? Are they negatively focused? Are you super hard on yourself and giving yourself, really mean messages all the time? Like, I'm not good enough, or I'm just fat, ugly, old, and, waiting to die, or I never get it right, or what's wrong with me? Or are you, again, how are you treating yourself, but in your thought processes, okay? So you want to be intentional about your thinking. We have 50 to 60,000 thoughts on average a day, according to the research. And, we can We can't change other people. We can't change some of the circumstances around us in life, but we can always change our mind about people and change our mind about circumstances around us and change our mind about ourselves. So I want you to be aware of it, be very aware of it. And I teach something in my book, The Midlife Makeover Method, and my private and group coaching programs, all based on this method, this methodology called the TFA cycle. And the T is the thoughts, the F is the feelings, and A is the actions. So you want to think about your TFA cycle. Here's an example. So T, your thought. Let's say you're struggling with your relationship with your body. You don't like your body. Maybe you're not sleeping well these days. Maybe your hormones are all over the place. Maybe you're having weight issues. Maybe you're dealing with chronic pain. Whatever it is that you don't like about yourself, about your body. Let's say you want to lose weight, okay? And your thought is, I've tried everything and I can never lose weight. Let's say that's your thought. I've tried everything and I can never, ever lose weight no matter how hard I try. So there's the thought. When you think that thought, how do you feel? Well, you probably feel pretty discouraged, right? You probably feel pretty defeated before you even get started. You may feel hopeless. You may feel depressed and so forth. So if you're feeling hopeless, depressed, defeated, how are you going to act? Well, you're probably just going to, feel resigned to these weight issues and not do anything about it, right? So you're likely to be a couch potato or maybe overeat or emotionally eat around it, or just who knows what other kind of self-destructive things you might do when you feel that down and out about things. And you'll probably continue, your actions will also include continuing to badger yourself for being what you believe to be overweight. Okay, so that's a TFA cycle. So you want to be aware of this. You want to know, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? So let's change it. This is how we change our mindset to rewrite the TFA cycle in our lives. So instead of thinking, I've tried to lose weight and nothing ever works for me, I'm a failure at that, you could change your thought to something like, I am on a journey of learning about how to help my body be its healthiest, or I can figure out what my body needs the most. Okay, so there's a thought. Now, if you believe that thought, I can figure out what my body needs the most to be healthy, then how are you going to feel? You're probably more likely to feel hope-filled. You're probably more likely to feel encouraged, empowered, more confident, excited, eager, those kinds of things. And when you feel those things, eager, confident, excited, hope-filled, etc., how are you going to act? You're going to go for it. You're going to step into that journey of greater health and try new things. Maybe you'll join an exercise class you've never joined before. Maybe you'll call a nutritionist for the first time. Maybe you'll revisit your doctor and have all your blood work done and have a consultation with your doctor. Maybe you'll try some alternative kinds of approaches like chiropractic, acupuncture. Maybe you'll make it a spiritual practice and do meditation on it, or prayer, or yoga, or whatever. I'm just making stuff up here. But the point is that our thoughts lead to how we feel, which lead to how we act. And so you want to stay very aware all year long about how you're thinking and turn things around when your thoughts are causing you suffering and keeping you from having the life that you want. Okay, so very, very, very important aspect to making your year fantastic. Number 6, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? I cannot say it enough how I've known this in my own life and all the research I've seen over the years around this. Having a daily gratitude practice of some sort adds to the wealth of and health of your life. Hands down. All I do is every morning, well, not all I do, but the main thing I do in terms of a daily gratitude practice is when I get up in the morning, I do this whole series of things. I read some inspirational things. I meditate, I do some different things, but one of the things I do is I get out my gratitude journal. I put the date on the top of the page. I put, I am so happy and grateful that, and then I list everything I'm grateful for that I can think of from the previous 24 hours, or things I'm anticipating or looking forward to today, on that day. And I do that every morning, every morning, every morning, every morning, every morning. And what happens is it gets you focusing on everything that you're grateful for, of course, while you're writing it down, but also all day long, because I'm thinking all day, oh, what am I grateful for today? Or, oh, wow, I really appreciate that. Oh, I'm going to write that in my journal tomorrow morning. So it keeps me in this high vibration, this high energy level, this high emotional state where I just feel so good and thankful all the time. And it just feels fantastic. So trust me, and you don't have to write it in a journal if you don't want. I have some friends who have a texting they do every morning. They hold each other accountable by sharing 3 things they're grateful for in a group text message thing going on. I know people who write in a gratitude journal at night. I know people who have gratitude jars or put little, notes of what they're grateful for every day, or they put a marble in every time they think of something they're grateful for. I mean, people say prayers of gratitude all the time. And Maya Angelou said, she's a famous poet, dancer, author, movie actress, everything. And she said that if thank you is the only prayer you ever say, that's enough. So, whatever, just get into a grateful state of mind and your year will be better. Trust me. Number 7, and no matter what you're going through, if you're going through a really hard time, do your best to be grateful for whatever support you're receiving, whatever skills you have that's helping you through this hard time. Maybe some of the beautiful lessons or things that might unfold from your tougher circumstances right now. There's always something to be grateful for, I promise you. Number 7. This year, what do you want to learn and how do you want to grow? What do you want to learn and how do you want to grow? Maybe you want to learn to speak a new language. Maybe you want to get a profile put up on a dating site for the first time. Maybe you want to learn how to cook for vegans. Maybe you want to learn how to grow a garden. Maybe you want to become more patient. Maybe you want to learn a new professional skill and start your own business. Who knows? But there's likely something that you want to learn and some way that you want to grow. And if there isn't, start thinking about that, because one of the ways that we keep our mind healthy and we keep ourselves vibrant and relevant is to continue to learn and grow throughout our lives. It doesn't have to be something massive and out of reach. It can just be something that we might call simple, but it's still you stretching yourself and keeping engaged in life and really living. So one of the things I am working on to learn and grow in is more about how my relationship with my body too, and what my body needs to be at its very best. That is something that I have had a full journey on, ups, downs, highs, lows, roller coaster ride my whole life. I turned 56 this year and I just want to get healthier all the time. And I want to age, slowly or very well, you know what I mean? So I'm continuing. I'm really, really on a kick with that again this year. So, and I want to read every day. I love reading and I have stacks of books I haven't read yet that I've gotten. So I'm making sure I block out time every day for reading. And so far, so good. So what do you want to learn and grow this year? And then finally, number 8, what is your own definition and vision of success in your life for this year? What is your unique definition of success and for your life this year, or your vision of success? So we all define success differently. We all have different logistics around that, and that's fantastic. But you must know your own, not base it on what your culture says you should do, what your family says you should have. Whatever it is for you, I want you to really develop a vision of success and get as particular about that as you can in your mind. and you might journal about it or whatever, and just start asking yourselves, okay, if this is what an ideal life looks like for me, then what are the things that I can do to create that more and more and more every day of my life? Okay. So these are 8 powerful questions that when you ask them of yourself all year long, it really will lift the quality of your life higher and lift the quality of your health higher in every area of your life. I promise. These are things I'm keeping in mind as well for myself and teaching my clients in the Midlife Makeover coaching group and in my private coaching programs as well. So anyway, if you want to know more about the work that I do, there's the book that was a bestseller this year when it came out, The Midlife Makeover Method, and it's available on Amazon. And if you'd like to know more about my coaching programs, please go to cindydwhitmer.com. And I thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.